Hello and welcome to Nice Big Wrench. Today I'm just going to have a look at something a bit different. This is a quad bike fuel tap. For what it's worth, this is from a KVF400 from 2002, and this is a generic fuel tap. Sorry, a Kawasaki fuel tap. What I found, which is interesting, is the bolt pattern's pretty much the same for everything. I fitted a WR450 fuel tap to the quad because it's exactly the same. The distance between these two holes are the same. These two points are the same. The two feed pipes are the same size and the same distance apart, so it just fitted. The only difference with the WR450 tap is that it didn't have this piece that goes on the front. It just had a simple spade adjuster just to move the tap. But this is what the fuel tap looks like. I've already unscrewed. There's a screw that goes down through the middle of this that connects it to the tap. So we take that off first, and then what you have is that's the main fuel line in, and that's the reserve line in. So what happens obviously is when you get down to this level, there's no fuel below that level for it to pick up from the main. So that's when you turn to the reserve tap, and then that's when it picks up from the lower one. The slight downside to that is the lower tap picks up all the crap that's got in the tank and settled on the bottom that you can't see. So in the case of the quad bike I pulled this out of, there was mud all around the bottom of the reserve one, where mud had gotten into the tap. So yeah, that's how. And then you'll see in a minute, but behind this, the tap here, that switches between that and that input by means of a little hole. Now this tap was leaking, which is why I was asked to have a look at it. It's obviously, as you can see, it's very dirty because it's a quad bike and it's used on the farm, so these things happen. But as you might be able to see the corrosion there at the bottom of the main filler. That's also comes from just the dirt and the crap that's in the bottom of the tank. So as a quick guide, this is how you take it apart. I've bought some spare parts from a company called Motorcycle Spares .eu, who do quad bike spares as well as motorcycle spares as well. But what we're going to do is first of all take off these two little screws at the front. And as you can see on the front plate, it says reserve off and on, to show you the positions that it works with. So let's just take that off, take that plate off, and that's the selector drum as it spins around. Now, as you can see, there's the little tab there. You see that little flat tab that's along there. That part hits that notch, which is what stops the tap from turning around and around, which is very important. That's why you need one of these plates. There's a little spring washer that's off center. It's intentionally bent so that when you put this plate on, it holds it all in tension. So there's that plate, that piece. This comes out. There's the tap. So and then there's an O-ring that goes around that, of which I've got a new one. And then there's the feed from the tank. That's what it looks like. So obviously, as you can see, if you think of this as a face, the left-hand eye is the one for the main fill. The right-hand eye is the one for the reserve fill. And then that notch either pairs up that way round or that way round to feed from one of those or the other to the mouth kind of area in the bottom, and then that goes out of this pipe, which then goes to the carburetor. When I refit this to the quad, I'm going to first of all replace these filters because they're a little bit broken, but I'm also going to fit a secondary filter on the end of that line to go to the carb, because the likelihood of dirt getting through this and into the carb is so high that it's quite likely. Now, what you might be able to see if I do this with the camera, let's see if it'll focus on that. There we go. Can you see the little degraded part? In fact, if I use a pick, a little degraded part here where the rubber has perished and eaten away. And also, so if I pick that out, you'll be able to see, well, one, it's very hard rubber, which isn't a good sign. But the other thing that's happened is over time this has got old and it started cracking. Come on, focus, focus. No, it doesn't want to. But yeah, this rubber piece has started cracking, so there's no wonder why it started leaking. But I have proper replacement, so that will go in there as well. And you can see there's a little bit of corrosion around that eye as well, that shows that water might have got in, that's been settling in the bottom of the tank, or any condensation that will sink to the bottom of the fuel and that will sink down to the bottom of the tank. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an overview. I'm going to clean this all up now and make it all fresh and mufti and new, and then I'll be putting it back on the quad. But just if that makes life a little bit easier for you to understand how a fuel tap works, or if specifically you're wondering how to replace yours or what you need, it's very easy to take one of these apart, check the condition of the components and put it all back together again. Just make sure that you don't lose any parts and that the O-ring goes in and gets properly seated, that kind of thing. But yeah, you can easily take one apart, have a look at it, see what needs replacing, and then go put it back on the vehicle whilst you order the parts, for the most part. But yeah, thought that might be useful to somebody. I'll catch you guys next time.